channel where chaos and insanity will always reign supreme. So we're back again for yet another video. You see, I'm kind of dressed up. I'm kind of suited up for good reason. We got something Ghostbuster related to review. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, what do you mean Ghostbuster related? You got kind of a proton pack on your desk. Yeah, we're not doing anything related to the Flux pack. That's a project I'm working on. We got some upgrades to do for it because maybe we got something going on with that. You guys will find out in another video. So, I have been lucky enough, fortunate enough, to get my hands on 4 of the 6 new Plasma Series Wave 2 figures. What am I talking about? Well, you guys know Ghostbusters. You know Ghostbusters 2. There is even Ghostbusters the video game and video game remastered. Well, now we finally have a traditional proper sequel. I don't mean proper in any disrespect to answer the call. It's just that this is a direct continuation of Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters Afterlife, which is slated to still come out this November. It basically follows a family that's down on their luck. They are evicted. They need a place to stay. The mother finds out that her father had an old farmhouse in the Midwest. So they go to this old farmhouse. And her 2 kids move in. It's an old, dusty, beat up, kind of a scary looking, weird farmhouse. Old barn with a bunch of old vehicles laying around. But the young daughter, well, she finds some clues and she finds a secret lab. Turns out their grandfather was Egon Spangler. Him and Ray Stans, of course, built the proton packs, built the Ecto-1, and made most of the technology that Ghostbusters used originally in 1 and 2. So now we find that they're keepers of the house, and it just so happens that in this weird little town, some weird stuff is going on. And who are you going to call? Exactly. So we have we have Trevor, we have Lucky, we have Venkman, and we have Winston. Now, we're actually going to do these on a different video. We're going to do Lucky on another video. So, in this video, we're actually going to just unbox one box, just one figure, and we're going to analyze them. Okay? Are you guys ready? Do you know who to call? Dave's Dimension. So, here we go. Now, very much like Plasma Series last year, we had the original 4 Ghostbusters here, but this time around we have Lucky, we have Podcast, we have Phoebe, and we have Trevor. Now, Phoebe's the only one not featured in this Plasma Series. Now, we don't know why that is. It could be a plot point. Maybe her figure actually has spoilers for the movie. That's one theory that some people have. Now, just like in the original packaging last year, it's done in a khaki suit, but these khaki suits look a little bit weathered and worn. Gotta figure these are suits that are essentially been hanging up in a secret basement or closet for, what, 30 years? 20 years maybe? 25? Who knows? Now, on here, we got our nice little caution hazard tape, which, can you tell, I'm a fan of? Hello. We get the little bit faded, darker, worn Ghostbuster emblem, obviously. These suits have been through hell and back. Okay, we got Trevor, Plasma Series. Choking hazard. It's the usual fanfare. Now, this is part of a Build-A-Figure. We get a Sentinel Terror Dog. I have an upright Terror Dog who is ready to beat down just about anyone and everyone. Now, obviously in the package, we can see this is a suit. There's no name tag. We get Trevor. We get kind of a strange Gozerian Sumerian map. We get a Build-A-Figure piece. We get some accessories, look like mini Stay Puffs. And we get a proton pack. So what do you say we get right on into this, guys? Now, from just looking from the outside, I don't see a particle stream in here. You know, the neutronal stream, that the laser beam that shoots out from the proton packs themselves. It's called a particle stream. So now, also on the back here, we see average teenage boy Trevor loves fast cars, reckless driving, cool adventures, and like stuff. That's all it says here. Let me see if I can get that to focus. I love my camera when it doesn't want to focus. Here we go. Okay. That's all it says, and then it says it in a whole bunch of different languages. We also get images of the figures available in this series. And for some reason, we get this extra sticker label here. I'm not sure what that's about. It's probably covering some other information that was here. Who knows? So, what do you say we crack this puppy open? With a nice little two strips of tape right at the top. I already have to get another Trevor, not for me, but for my wife. She loves the Stay Puffs. They're little mini puffs, so gotta get her one. Now, just like on the original packages, we get some very cool Ecto inspired art. We get the Ecto one there, and obviously this is the Ecto one that we see in the movie because the ladder is on the driver's side and not the opposite side. If this was the Ecto one from the first movie, we would see the ladder on the passenger side, but it's on the driver's side because of the gunner chair. Of course, we get the, looks like the stock Neutrona one design right there. We get the, actually this looks like the newer version of the Proton Pack because there's some added extras right here. Now you can see there's kind of a cord or wiring that leads up from here to the side. Let's see if I can, from here, and goes up there. You can see that right there. That's different, okay? And also, there's appears to be, yeah, that looks to be a little bit extra. I'm not sure what that is in reference to because it's not on your standard Proton packs. So, enough about that. Let's get to the good stuff. Yeah, Trevor does not come with a particle stream. So there is that. I can always borrow a particle stream from the first set of guys. So we can do that. Now, here is Trevor's little accessory. Whoa. Definitely looks, this looks to be the exact kind of map that came with the Reebok shoes from last year. I still have that map. I don't know why they have a serial number right at the bottom there, but no, it is what it is. This might be something cool if you want to do kind of a Ghostbusters display. Maybe put this between two pieces of like plexi, or maybe if you're gonna maybe cut this up and repurpose this to kind of hold this out like a little frame display. That could be something you guys can do. Now in here, let's switch over. There we go, guys. So in here, we have the part of the Sentinel. This looks to be the right arm of the Sentinel Terror. And here we go, we have the pack. Here we go. Let's take a nice little look at that. Now this looks to be the basic design of your Proton Pack. It looks a little flipped because that's just how the image is on my camera. Let's just revert back. So there we go. Now it looks right. Okay. Now of course you have a peg hole right there, and of course the Alice frame, as this is called. You got a little tab that opens up so you can slide this over your figure and suit them up. Now let's take a look at one more little thing before we get Trevor out. So we get this little stream or string of mini puffs. Of course they're unpainted, they're just white soft rubber plastic. So there we go. And let's get Mr. Trevor out. Here we go. And Trevor's got his luxurious curly hair. He's got the elbow pads. We got the Ghostbuster emblem right there. Now these elbow pads look a little bit aged. What do I mean? I'll show you exactly what I mean. These are the Wave 1 Ghostbusters that came out last year. Okay? Suits are much darker, obviously. And you take a look, we have kind of like almost like a olive. And we have these black elbow pads. Now, the actual Ghostbuster elbow pads are actually gray. They were gray wrapped around your arm, and then on the inside of your arm, in the elbow area right here, there would be a black little square pad on the inside. Yeah, these were never 100% accurate, but we went with it as fans. But as you can see, one, he's rocking the pant legs all the way down. And of course, he's looks like these are supposed to be some Adidas, but obviously copyright and all that. So there we go. We get a belt. There's hardly any gear on here. Some big differences right there. I'm guessing that either the Ghostbusters went with different gear, or over time, that's the only Army Navy surplus that they could really get were those faded belts, or that's just left over from years of busting. We don't know. Okay? Now let's do a comparison between Trevor's pack and... Now, this is definitely a GB2 style pack that Trevor's rocking, because we can see that multicolored ribbon that looks more consistent with the Ghostbusters 2. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I happen to have a couple packs right here, and they have the Ghostbusters 2 style ribbon on theirs. So, that's how we know that that's a Ghostbusters 2 themes pack for Trevor. Okay? And, of course, his cyclotron is upper left. So there we go. Or should I say... Is that upper left? Yeah, upper left hand side. I can't tell. We don't get any accessories on the belts like we had with Peter. We had a walkie-talkie. And we had belt gizmo on the guys before. We don't have a belt gizmo for him. Because obviously they don't even probably know about the belt gizmo yet. So there is that. So let's... And of course, like a young kid, you know, he's got it zipped open because he's trying to look hip and cool. There's no leg hose. That's perfectly fine. So let's get this right on him. So, let me show you guys how this goes. In case this is your first rodeo. The arm joints are pretty good. So with this, and they kind of have to be good because the way you put this on, kind of need the arms to go up, just like, you know, you put a backpack kind of on. There we go. See, we just slide it right over, like so. Slide his one arm in. Slide the other strap over his head. And there is a peg here that will go directly into his back to help with that. And then we just have to kind of hook this latch in like so. There you go. That's what I'm referring to right there. So now he's got his proton pack on. Now, it's pretty close to the shoulder straps on Peter, except his looks like they're a little bit higher, probably because of the extra slack. I mean, these are kids after all. Now, the one in his cable actually plugs into the pack itself. So if you think yours is broke, don't worry, you didn't break it. That's just how it's designed for storage and assembly as far as posability. Let's get this pushed in. There we go. Now, a couple things we can do. We should be able to slide this right onto the pack. So yeah, there we go. Now this is not at an angle. This is straight down, but that's more GB1 and not really GB2. So that's a little confusion right there. And let me see if my peg stands will work for him, or am I gonna have to try with something? I mean, it'll work. The NECA stands actually work very well for these guys. Arms definitely feel a little bit smaller, a little bit. I mean, these are the guys are full grown adults, and this is just a teenager. Height difference is not that much. I actually have uh, Trevor on a stand. Let's see if I have another stand here. Yeah, I have a NECA stand, so we're going to put Peter on a NECA stand just for height comparison. So, for some reason, the NECA stands weren't that great for the guys. That's why I was using these smaller, almost Marvel or Star Wars like stands for them before. Yeah, pretty much the packs look pretty well, but I will say this. For some reason, Peter's is looking a little bit more flatter as far as the color. But of course, I have had Peter standing up on a shelf for the past year. It's probably just dust and dirt that I need to dust them down. But not, they look pretty well. I gotta say, I really like the look of this. I'm gonna have to play around with Trevor to see how can we set up these Slimers, because I've seen people set them up different ways. One where they're somehow being hung on him. I've seen people also put them on the packs. In some pictures, like doing something like this, like we have a bunch of Slimers, or rather, sorry, not Slimers, but Stay Puffs, hanging off the back of the pack, like they're little buddies, just kind of hanging out like gremlins. I mean, it's something you can do. You can see I'm moving him around, and they're kind of staying on there pretty well. It depends on how you want to position them. I mean, with the way they're on this little roper string, it looks like they are hanging. So, I mean, we can have it so that they're hanging on the pack, which makes a lot of sense as far as how they're designed. So, my wife loves the mini puffs, and she's like, "Oh, you know, will you get me one?" I'm like, "Well, we'll just get you another figure. You'll have yours." With her Ghostbuster collection. But all in all, this is a pretty solid figure, and the suits look huge on him. But I mean, he's a teenager, so yeah, it's like wearing your dad's or your big brother's clothes. But I like the look of it. It's just really odd that we don't have a name tag on here. Maybe they removed some of the name tags, because on the box we see podcast. Whoa, we see podcast with his own makeshift tag, and then we see Phoebe with the Spangler tag. But I mean, I don't know. Is she gonna really wear the name tag? We don't know. But with those rimmed glasses and the name Spangler, it kind of gives you the feels. So, very quick review. I mean, I really like the likeness on here. Let me see if I can get this to focus. Come on, camera. I love my C922 that doesn't want to focus. There we go. Very cool likeness of him. The hair sculpt on here is just sick. I love the detail. Everything looks really good. It's just, what's throwing me off is the olive green elbow pads. Maybe they did that just, I don't know if that's how it's going to look in the movie. We don't know. But it definitely complements the olive drab of the Alice frame. So it kind of gives a nice little cohesion to it. But yeah, I really love this figure, and I can't wait to get the others and check those out. So there we are, guys. Very cool. Now we have Winston here, we have Trevor, and we have Peter. So let's do a nice little comparison. Let's see if we can, trying to get the camera to focus here. There we go. So height-wise, they are pretty on par. So you can see that right there. I gotta get some more pegs so we can position the guys pretty proper. Now, this paper seems a bit fragile. Could we put this in his hands? I'm sure we could, but I don't want to damage this. Okay. I love how they kind of have this folded up like it probably was folded up and stored somewhere. I love that kind of a look. But this feels too fragile, and I could see it being torn and ripped over time. So there is that. See, and we have some tears. It's meant to look aged. And like I said, I actually have the full-size map, and I gotta find a place where I can get it framed because I actually want to hang it, or at least get it laminated, so I can take it to events and Comic-Cons next year. So, but here we are, Trevor, and of course, his hands are positioned so that yes, he can have the Neutrona stream, or particle wand, I should say, sorry, Neutrona wand in his arm. But, of course, with his hands being so closed, this is going to be the trick, guys. If you want to get this in his hand, the best way is probably going to be to basically feed this hose through his closed hand, all the way through, slide it down, so then we can then slide the rear grip, and then we're going to take this around and plug it back into the back of the pack. Okay, at least that's how I've been doing it. So there we go. You see, I just fed it right through his hand and then plugged it back into the pack. Makes it a lot easier for him to hold the wands. So there we go. We got him with the Stay Puffs. Now you can play around with the other hand, which is a little bit more opened, to see if you can get him to hold the wands. Now, last year when I got the original guys, it was a little hard for me to play around. It looks like they might have given us a little bit more hose slack here, but you can see I have him holding the wand right there. So there we go. And the Stay Puffs just fell down. I'm going to have to find where they fell. But there we are, guys. Just a little quick review of Trevor. We don't know if he's a Spangler or not, but there we go. Very cool sculpt. I love the coloring that they did on here. Even the leg hose, they get, he's just rocking his sneakers. I think, like I said, I think those are supposed to be Adidas. But I'm really loving this, and I can't wait to get into the other figures. I'm still missing 2 of the full set, but we'll see what happens. So there we are, guys. Quick review. I want to thank you for checking out the video. I know we went a little bit longer than I really wanted to, but I wanted to give you guys a whole scope of it. So there we are. There you are. Here I am. Those guys are on my desk. So just want to thank you guys for checking out the video, checking out the channel. Please do me a favor, go into the video description below, check out our YouTube warriors. Those are YouTubers, people like you and me who put some amazing content out there. So I just want you guys to check them out. They make some amazing videos. You can't go wrong. So there you are.